Hey you guys, my name is Maura Sullivan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is about Ina Garten, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. No one brings me so much comfort and joy, and she's just so herself, and that is what I love so much. That is what we all, the whole world, loves so much about the barefoot contessa. This video is one video in a series that I'm doing here on my channel called my 60 plus golden series. I'm covering or doing videos on some of my favorite influential women over 60. And Ina Garten has been a part of my life for all of my life. I was a very interesting kid. I didn't, instead of going home and like immediately turning on Disney Channel, I watched the Food Network. And she is one of the first voices that I remember hearing as a kid, if that makes any sense. Like just seeing her on TV is the most nostalgic thing in the world. Here on YouTube, if you like just type in her name, they have like the her like shows, like the montage of her shows on repeat, and I put those on whenever I just need something in the background. They're like 3 hours long, and it's just Ina talking and cooking and in her kitchen and showing Jeffrey, her husband. Like, I love this woman so much. And yeah, this series is inspired by people in my own life referring to me as a grandma. My friends call me grandma. My family calls me grandma. Like so many people who know me personally always refer to me as a grandma. And I just have like so many personality traits and little things and like quirks, I guess, about me that are just, I'm an old soul and I'm just into a lot of like older style things, I guess. Like I listen to the radio. I love a newspaper. I drink tea all day. A lot of the music that I'm into is like older. I love jazz. Um, just a more um, mature, just older style. I always say I'm um, 20% Gen Z and 80% grandma. And so I'm fully leaning into that by doing the series and talking about some of my favorite women over 60. And yeah, today's video is Ina Garten. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, go check those out. I've done a video on Meryl Streep, Cher, Jennifer Lewis. I think by the time this video goes up, the Felicia Rashad one will be up. And who else did I talk about? I have an Angela Bassett one that I'm going to do. So just a few of just the most iconic, influential, inspirational women who we all know and love. And it's been so much fun to research their stories, read their books, listen to their interviews, just learn so much about these women's, is that even a word? To learn so much about their stories and just the things that they've been through, the things that they've had to overcome to get to where they are. This is what I love to do. I love researching people. I love hearing people's stories. I do this for fun. This is a hobby for me. Is watching documentaries and reading biographies and autobiographies. Like I'm obsessed with people's stories, and I learn the most from people who are older than me. And so that is what this series is all about. So let's jump in to Ina Garten. The number one thing that I have learned from the barefoot contessa is to always give yourself permission to change your mind. It is okay to try things out and see what sticks or see what fits for you specifically. Ina Garten has had so many different jobs. Um, she worked in like nuclear plants or something at the White House, something in that division. She was a secretary at a strip club. She didn't know it was a strip club, but she didn't know that was the job she was signing up for. She did that. She worked at NASDAQ for a minute. Like she just tries, she's never been afraid to try things on and see what fits. And I think that a lot of us don't give ourselves, especially when we're young, there's so much pressure and comparison and society, and just we like to follow that checklist of society, the checklist of life or the American dream, or family expectations, whatever the case may be. And Ina Garten is so inspirational. Her story is so inspirational because she really focuses on doing her own thing and finding what works for her. And just tuning out the noise, tuning out other people's opinions, advice, whatever, and figuring out what she wants to do for herself. And is super unapologetic about that, and just really is intentional about staying true to herself at all times. Um, the second, like, most important takeaway that I got from Ina Garten's life, if you've never read her book, she came out with an incredible book not long ago, Be Ready When the Luck Happens. Get the book. It is the best, most comforting, fun, inspirational read that you can give yourself. Make that like a part of the rest of your like 2025 to-do list or things to do. Add it to your library. I love this book so much. But my second favorite thing about her that she talks a lot about in the book is that it's never too late, and also what's meant for you is never going to miss you, and you are never going to miss it. So like, she did not she didn't even debut on the Food Network until she was 54 years old. I think it is so important for people my age especially to remember, we're stressed out at 24 trying to figure out, are we on the right life path, and are we going to be with the perfect partner and get the dream career and do all these things. It's like, girl, you just got here. Okay? I'm 26. We just got here, you guys. Like, it is okay. Like, relax. Calm down. Give yourself some time. Like, we're just getting started. Like, she did not debut on the Food Network until she was 54. And I think that is so important to note, because she has been around for all of our lives. If you are in my age bracket, um, she's been around. Uh, the show aired in 2002. I was born in 98. So she's literally been in my life for all of my life. Um, but like I said, it's just so easy to get stuck in, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? I'm going to miss the opportunity. Like, everything you are supposed to do, you're going to do. And everything that is for you you're never gonna miss it, and it is never gonna miss you. Like, what you are supposed to do. She didn't even want to be on TV. Like, Ina Garten did not even want a TV show. People kill to have a cooking show. Do you know how hard it is to get on the Food Network? And she turned down the opportunity dozens of times. Like, the network had to keep going back to her and asking, um, because she didn't even want a show. And I think that that's like such a huge message within itself, because whatever is meant for you, even if you turn it down, that opportunity that's really supposed to be yours is not going to take no for an answer from you. Not just It's not even like your hand in like, you have to say yes or you're going to miss the opportunity, because what's really supposed to be for you is going to be relentless about not taking no for an answer from you. That goes with people, relationships, opportunities, friendships. The people, the opportunities that want to be in your life and that really are for you are not going to take no for an answer from you. Like, they are going to keep knocking at your door and not give up until you say yes. Like, it is actually impossible for you to not do everything that you're supposed to do while you're here on earth. Like, you're not going to miss anything. So calm down. Like, just relax. And she has taken so many risks risk in her life. Um, she had a super, um, I guess the word she says that her childhood was filled with like a lot of abuse and a lot of neglect. She says that her dad was just very strict, very hard, very harsh. Her mom, she says she like looks back now and realizes that her mom was probably like autistic or on the spectrum. They just didn't know it back then. But her mom had no social life. Her mom did not believe in carbs and did not let her eat carbs and never seasoned anything. So she said all the food that she ate as a kid was flavorless, had no flavor, no seasoning, no nothing, and no carbs. So I love that Ina created a life for herself that was the opposite of how she grew up. And I think that a lot of times we see people, because that abuse and that kind of neglect, that kind of just rough, I don't know, those, how our parents are usually the people who we attract or we are attracted to as we get older. A lot of times we just repeat that cycle. Like if she had really abusive, neglectful parents, a lot of times people who grow up in that kind of situation end up with partners or friends or in relationships just like the people they grew up with, like just like their parents. And she made the decision, she said at 15, that she would not live like that when she got older. She would not live like that for the rest of her life. And so she said she was very determined from a teenager. She made that decision as a teenager. She said she would never even be with a man who so much as raised his voice at her. And she really kept that promise to herself. We all know, if you are a Barefoot Contessa fan and you know who Jeffrey is, we have seen Jeffrey in every single Barefoot Contessa show. Ina loves Jeffrey. We love Jeffrey. Jeffrey needs his own show. Like, can we actually get Jeffrey his own show? I love Jeffrey, and I think that he is like the world's perfect husband. Even though they would both tell you that, everyone's human, no one's perfect, blah blah blah. But Jeffrey is actually perfect. Like I just love their relationship so much. So much. A huge part of Ina's story is not settling. Like I said, when she made that decision at 15 years old, she told herself, I will not experience this kind of abuse and neglect the way that I have from my parents. I will not experience this for the rest of my life. She never went back on that word. She promised herself she would never be in a relationship like that. And she didn't. She kept that promise to herself. And so she attracted Jeffrey. And I think that there's such a huge lesson in that. Just when you really know what you want and don't settle for less, again, like I said before, it has no decision, no option but to show up in your life at some point. Even if it takes a long time, like you're not gonna miss what's supposed to be for you. Jeffrey is the most supportive, she says, and I can tell that he is the most supportive, positive person. And I think a huge part of her story is to never underestimate the power of a supportive, positive partner. Who you choose to be in a relationship with is everything. Like it basically determines your life, or so much about your life. Um, she tells a lot of different stories about Jeffrey in her book, but she really talks a lot about him never wanting what's best for himself, but he always figures out a way to do what's best for both of them. He's never like just me. Like she really puts emphasis on the fact that he really is a partner in her life. Like they have a marriage, they are together, and they're just so intentional as a couple in doing what's best for both of them. And he is so intentional at doing what's best for both of them, and also being very supportive. They got married during a time where gender roles were the norm, and she talks a lot about that as well. Whenever she shares her story, she talks a lot about gender roles being the norm when she was young, and her being determined to not like follow traditional gender roles. Like she says that they even separated at a time, when she had first gotten into business, and she felt like she didn't want to fall into the trap of just being a normal husband and wife. Like you go to work, you come home, she has dinner on the table, he is the man and he's the husband, she's the wife. Like she didn't want the traditional gender roles. And so they separated. And they separated for 4 months, which she says, she looks back now and she says that was so, I don't think she used the word dangerous, but like it was, it could have, she could have lost him, basically, is what she says. Like it was a very big decision, and she definitely could have lost him. But again, when something is for you, when someone is for you and supposed to be in your life, you're not going to lose them no matter what you do. Like you cannot miss what is for you. That is the overall like arch of this entire video of Ina Garten's story. Like, and lessons that I've learned from her, you cannot miss what's for you. Like it's actually impossible for you to miss the things and the people who are supposed to be in your life and the opportunities that you're supposed to have. She talks about going back to all of her different jobs. Her last job was at the White House, and she said that she was so unhappy. And this is, how important it is to have a partner who is supportive. Um, she said that Jeffrey told her, find something that you like to do. Like if you love it, then you'll be good at it. And that's what she did. And she said she made the very impulsive decision to buy a store in the Hamptons. She saw it in the newspaper, that there was like a store for sale, or like, yeah, a lady was selling a store in the Hamptons, and she saw it in the newspaper. Her and Jeffrey literally drove to the Hamptons, 6 hours from DC to the Hamptons, and made an offer. I believe it was like a $20,000 offer, something like that. And she didn't expect the lady to say yes, because she was like, the offer's too low. The lady was gonna call back, and they would have to do some negotiating or whatever. But the lady called back like the next day and accepted the offer. And she was like, oh shoot, now I own a business. And so she quit her job in DC, which was like, again, super impulsive, but she had the support of a husband who was supportive, who just wanted her to find something that she loved to do. And it's so beautiful, and we all know it's such a privilege to be in a relationship like that. It is very rare, but it is possible. And I do want to throw in here, if you don't have that partner, if you don't have even those parents, if you don't have that family, if you don't have, that person who can help support your dream, you have to do it for yourself. You have to find a way to do every single thing that you want for yourself. I know it's hard. If you have things that you want to do and you're alone and you don't have a Jeffrey in your life who can put up a check, to be honest, who can, drive with you to a different state and, help make business moves and decisions like that, not everyone has a Jeffrey. And I'm saying this because I know, as a Black woman especially, it ain't a lot of Jeffreys out here. But if you don't have that person, if you don't have that support, if you don't have that financial freedom, that option to even do that, you have to figure out a way to make it happen for yourself. And it is possible. Like, whatever you want, it is possible for you to have it. You just got to do it. Sometimes it just takes longer, and you have to put in a lot of extra work and a lot of extra time. If you don't have, that partner, that supportive person, that someone who can invest in your dream and your vision and your goal, because, you know, she's very open in saying, like, a lot of that would not have, a lot of who she is and what she has become, a lot of it would not have been possible without Jeffrey. And I think it's really important to throw that in there. But at the same time, she's the one doing all the work. Like, he was just kind of the backbone. He gave her that little push, that little nudge, but she ultimately is the one who became Ina Garten. But I just wanted to throw that in there because I know it's so easy to look at her story and be like she only did that because she had a man who could afford to do that, and that's not fully the case. It's a part of it, but it's not fully the case. You have to have the ambition, you have to have the drive, you have to be able to put the work in, you have to have the consistency, the determination, the work ethic, all those things. But a supportive partner does help. My point is, if you don't have that, you still have to make it happen for yourself. Like, I always say this, anything that you want comes down to how bad do you want it. Anything that you want comes down to how bad do you actually want it. And I say that a lot when it comes to people's resolutions and their goals and things that they want to do. And a lot of people make a lot of excuses for reasons that things don't happen for them, or why they don't do certain things or go after certain things. And at the end of the day, either you want something bad enough or you don't. Like, if you want something bad enough, you're going to make it happen. Anyway, she bought the house. She bought the house. She bought the store in the Hamptons, and she did something very smart. She asked the lady, because she had never run a business before. Ina had never run a business. She asked the lady who had already owned the store to stay on for a year and show her how to run a business. Again, these are things that are not always options, but do what you can. But she did ask that lady to stay on and, help her just to kind of like navigate just that first year of business. And, that's when she started cooking and started baking, and she was in a store, and she really learned how to set the vibe of a store. And she wanted, the place to smell like baked cookies when you came in, and have the right music playing. She created that ambiance that later became the Barefoot Contessa, or that store. Actually, the name of that store was the Barefoot Contessa, but it later became her brand. And so I think that I love that story so much. And then, as she became known for cooking, she ran the store, but then she released a cookbook. And then from her cookbook, she ended up on the Food Network. And the rest is history, as they say. But she didn't even want the Food Network show. Like, they had to beg her over and over and over again to take that show. And I just think, it's phenomenal that she has really always stayed true to herself. One thing that she was very, very, very adamant about is not being Martha Stewart. She says that she had to fight for her own identity, for her own brand, and for her own individuality in the Food Network and just in that culinary world. They wanted the next Martha Stewart. They wanted her to be Martha. And she says that she fought very hard to have her own identity and to make sure that the network knew you already have Martha Stewart. I'm Ina Garten. It reminds me of that Simone Biles quote when she was like, I'm not the next Michael Phelps. I'm the first Simone Biles. And that is the mindset that Ina Garten has. Like, she's like, y'all already have Martha. Let me be Ina. And, she fought for that. And it's very hard to do, especially in the entertainment industry. Um, but she fought for it. And so just really don't be scared to bet on yourself when you really believe in something, when you know that you want to do something. And like Jeffrey told her, when you love something, you're going to be good at it. And so really be fearless in, asking for what you want and fighting for what you want and investing in yourself. She says that her and Jeffrey, like, they made huge financial investments, first in buying that store in the Hamptons, and then these are big risks that they took. And then her first cookbook, she was determined to do basically all of that herself because she wanted for creative control. And so she had to come out of her own pocket for the book and pay for her own photographers and pay for her own, basically her own editor and things to put the book together. So sorry if you guys can hear their ambulance because it is so loud. I love that so much about her story is it's a lot of investing in yourself and taking the chance and taking the risk and not being afraid of what other people think. She talks a lot about like kind of having tunnel vision, not looking all around you, but just focusing on what's in front of you. What's in front of you specifically and what you are doing. I think it's so easy, especially in our world, to be distracted and to compare all the time and to just worry about what everyone else is doing because we have so much access to everyone's life. And for everyone's lives, but you need to pay attention to you. And I love that so much about Ina's story. She's really, really intentional about paying attention to herself. Something else I thought was super interesting, she says she does not make long term goals. She really does only focus on today, right here, right now. She focuses on what she needs to do tomorrow. She really, every day just says what is the best that she can do today and then plans for tomorrow. And she does not make like long-term goals. She says she has never made a 5-year plan. She is just, super focused on the right here, right now. And she said that keeps her open to new opportunities and it keeps her, able to focus and do what she needs to do today instead of worrying about the future, which I think is super helpful, super important. And going back to believing in yourself, she said that if you believe fiercely in yourself and in your dream and your vision, someone else is going to come along and support you. Someone else is going to believe in you too. Even if it's one other person, there's always going to be someone who shows up for you and who can see the vision and believes in whatever it is you are selling or trying to, put out there or get across or whatever you're trying to make happen for yourself. Someone else is going to see that too. You just have to keep at it long enough and it's going to come in the right time from the right person. But if you believe fiercely in it, you're going to find your people and your people are going to find you. Like I said before, the name of her book is Be Ready When the Luck Happens. And one of the things when she was accepting a speech, um, she had said, I can't remember what award show it was, but she talks about this in the book where she got up and when she was making her acceptance speech, she said, I've been so lucky. And she said when she got back to her seat, Oprah like slapped her hand and said, you did not get lucky. You worked for this. And she says that that moment was like so life changing because, like I said, I'm pretty sure even she thought, you know, that because she had such an incredible husband and they had, they were willing to take the risk and had the resources to make the financial investments and do all these things that she considered herself lucky. But she worked for that. And, yes, we all have, help along the way. And she had help along the way. But she worked for that. And she talks about, how hard running a business was, how hard writing those cookbooks are, how hard even being on TV is. Like, those things don't just happen. It's a lot of work. And I know just from doing YouTube, the editing takes so long. Like, being on camera takes so much energy. Like, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes of the entertainment world, and even like writing a book or running a business. Like, it's so easy to look at people and just be like they're lucky. And she says that that's how she looked at herself, and she didn't even realize it until Oprah told her, like, you did not get lucky, you worked for this. And so she has started giving herself more credit for the work that she has done, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of creativity. Ina has like thousands, almost at millions, because it probably is that much, but like thousands and thousands and thousands of recipes. Like, it is creativity. It is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and especially to run a business, it's like to have people work for you and like be a boss. This is not easy at all. And anyone who does anything creative knows that it's not easy at all creating content. Um, and so she really, has done her best to start giving herself the credit that she deserves. Another one of my favorite things about Ina Garten is that she doesn't say yes to a lot. She does talk about, like, in the beginning she had to say yes to everything, and I feel like anyone who first starts out has to say yes to everything. You take every single opportunity, um, just to like get the exposure and to pay the bills. But as you grow, you should be saying less. You should be saying yes to less. And she says no to a lot. She says that she turned down doing a dog food brand because that just didn't make sense for her. And I know a lot of other people who would have just jumped on that bandwagon and sold dog food, like, because they would have gotten paid from that. But she does not say yes to everything. And I think that that keeps the integrity of the brand. Even when you do, especially when you get to that level in the game and you have all of these opportunities at your feet, it's very easy to have a hand in everything. But I think what has made her and her brand and her businesses so successful, and a part of why we all love her so much, is because she really focuses on and gives her all to the very few specific things that she's doing. And I think that's important for all of us to do, is to like keep your priorities straight. And you might have to say yes to everything for a minute, but don't let that be forever. Like, figure out the few things that you want to do and zone in on those, and do the best that you can at those things, but do not spread yourself too thin, because when you're doing too much, like the quality over quantity, because when you're doing too much, the quality isn't great. If you're trying to do a billion different things, you can't really give your best to each and everything. So make sure that you have your priorities lined up. I love, 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 love Ina Garten so much. Please comment down below your favorite recipe if you are an Ina Garten fan. My favorite recipe is her classic. I know this is basic of me, but like, her roast chicken is perfect. Her like number one rule when it comes to cooking is that everyone should know how to roast a chicken. And so I made sure that I know how to roast a chicken. And so if you have made any of Ina's recipes, please comment down below. If you have a favorite recipe of hers, let me know as well. And if you've also read the book, please let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Go check out my other videos on just all I was about to name them all, but lots of other videos on a lot of more of my favorite influential women over 60, and let me know who you love down below. I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.